fond memories this Thursday. Well, we have his royal excellenceness, his grooviness, his swaggishness, and his choppiousness, because nobody loves life the way our Dibia does. He likes to try food, sample meals, drinks, you name it. He will give most things a shot. China Achero is in the studio. China, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude.
Welcome back.
I think you're exposing me. I think you are exposing me. I
don't know what you
His
mean.
royal choppishness. What's that?
Yes, you chop. Business. Yes. If you catch China anywhere, see, there must be something to put in your mouth. Whether it's granite, it's biscuit, sometimes it's cola. He just has this. Mouth must be moving. That's what life be. We just we gotta run out like that. Just chop and drink. Meanwhile, how did your birthday celebrations go? I tried to call you that day twice. We had people who were on the line waiting to say things to you, and unfortunately we couldn't get to.
So why didn't you?
We did. We called you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, studio lines. We did twice.
Wow.
Yes, and I don't know whether you busy the call or. The service brother did something else.
I didn't busy the call. I had to get away with my sons. Yes, that bed was dedicated to just three of them. So
fair enough.
We went to hide out somewhere.
Fair enough.
And we did a lot of chopping scene.
You see now. Okay, so now let's get straight into this one. Now, a few days ago, on China's Facebook, he made a very interesting post. It was an invitation, a wedding invitation. Now, at the very end of that invitation was the crux of our conversation today. China, that invitation card, the celebrants stated very explicitly, eat before you come. What does that mean?
It means eat before you come. Eat before you come can only mean one thing. Eat before you come. What else can it mean?
So they're not going to give us rice and chicken?
I don't know if they're going to give rice and chicken. Now, the thing is this, apart from the fact that I know the person, Oni Afolabi, right? Up to now, I don't know the name of the bride. It's on the card. I have no idea. I have no idea the venue. I have no idea the date of the wedding. But that thing was explicit. Eat before you come.
It stood out.
Eat before you come. Why did he do that? And should people do more of that? Now, let me say this. The first time I saw something strange on a wedding card was a classmate of mine from secondary school. He had relocated to Canada a long time ago, and both he and his wife were based in Canada. When he came back for his wedding card had a message like that. It was simple. It said, please don't give us gifts. Give us money. We don't live in Nigeria. We can't take the gifts abroad.
That's understandable.
Yeah, so he said it there. We don't want gifts. You can't be giving us a bed or a cooker or a fridge.
We can't carry it.
Just give us money. First time I saw something like that. Second time I saw something like that was I attended the wedding. Normally, and on the wedding card there was no reception venue. And it shocked me. So after the wedding, when we were having announcements in the church, I thought they would not announce the reception venue. Nothing. And as just said, you can go home now. So if you're asking about the reception, you get a message to know the reception venue. That was it. 3 hours later, I got a text message saying, let's meet at so venue at 7 p.m. And I went there. There were just about 60, 70 of us.
Nice.
Yes. So people are being innovative because maybe times are hard. Maybe people don't want to, bite more than they can chew. So there are lots of reasons for that.
Is it really because times are hard, or like someone I showed that message to? There has been, I don't know where it came from, but there's been this, very conscious and deliberate act from intending couples to restrict bad belly people from coming and spoiling their weddings. There was a video, I don't know if you saw this years ago, at the wedding ceremony, traditional wedding, everyone was dancing. A lady comes and then rubs the tummy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Of the bride. And then, boom, everybody starts to go, what's going on? Now, I've heard from caterers saying, look, these days, people are now saying they don't even want to cater for 500 people. Not because they don't have the money, but because they don't want to, as it were, announce that they are getting married to a lot of people. So, like you said, 60 people. I've even heard in some cases where it was the parents, the children of both families that were involved, the uncles and aunties in somebody's house. That was it.
There was a wedding reception I was invited for last year. It was strict on invitation. Rather than this massive reception in a big hall, exclusive set of just about 50. That joint at Pleasure Park, we know.
Yeah.
In fact, just about 40, 50 people, and one, it saves costs. Two, there's less involved in terms of logistics.
Yeah.
Three, you are sure of the people you're bringing to
your circle,
to your circle. So there are different reasons. But I actually spoke to this guy, right? I wanted to know why he did what he did. It looked like, am I out of time? Are we out of time?
No, we still have about 3-4 minutes.
Okay, so one, he said he wanted to do things differently, right? That's one. Then two, he said it's not like there will be no item 7. There will be item 7, right? But he didn't want people to be too expectant, right? So because he has said it's before coming, you're not expecting anything, so you are okay with whatever you get. Not people thinking that we're going to have our breakfast, lunch, and dinner there, right? So he actually says he will eventually cater for about he has planned for about 150 people, right? But because of the location of his wedding reception, he knows that there will be a crowd there, so he's preparing their minds ahead of time, so they don't expect too much. Yes. So of course there will be item 7, but he won't kill himself to feed the world.
He won't do what we're used to. Now, before we go on a break, let me I want to cast this picture before you. This is probably one of the grandest weddings I've ever attended. All right, we'll compare it to the others that we've been seeing on social media these days, and then we'll come back. After the break, after the headline news, we'll open the phone lines and ask you if we really need, in quote unquote, food or refreshments at receptions. Lagos, circa 2014. All right, it was the wedding celebration of a senior secondary school friend of ours. It was I think it was 2 or 3 years our senior. China. This wedding reception was catered to the teeth. When I mean catered, I mean they brought menus for all the guests in that hall. We were, my estimate, about, let's say, 200 plus. They brought menus. We did not stand up to go and queue to collect food from anywhere. There were waiters attached to every quadrant in that hall. And so if you wanted rice, eba, with salad on top of your ekpankoko, they will bring it for you. They were making it a la carte right there at the venue. It was the most catered for event I've ever seen. And the funny thing, once you order, there is another person who come and ask you, this is the first course, sir. What do you want for your second? What do you want for your cocktail? And what do you want for dessert? Imagine young men. We're about 8 or 10 on our table. We couldn't stand up to leave when it was time. We ate so much that day. Well catered for event. Now, 2024, we are hearing and I've seen wedding ceremonies, funeral ceremonies, where they tell you, as we put the body for ground, Mokuna go, Mokuna thank you. And I'm not making this up. They only shed water at the burial site. As opposed to a cousin of mine whose mother passed on years ago, was a big man in Bayelsa politics, who shed wrappers for the entire women in the village years ago. So, are we changing? Where did this largesse come from? And is it here to stay? Refreshments, souvenirs, must they be given? Speaking of which, let me quickly ask you, if you remember weddings for the 80s, were they giving souvenirs back then?
I don't remember.
I have checked all my uncles' pictures, even my parents' pictures, my late uncles, and I have never seen any souvenir from 1985, 81, or 79. So where did we?
Something to think about.
When we come back, our Dibia will weigh in if we should be doing kola nut alone, or if we should be expecting bottom belle when we reach those celebrations. Stay tuned. In our conversation, we're talking about ceremonies. Yes. And what exactly is it with food and receptions? We made mention that even at funerals here in this part of the world, there seems to be some agitation when it comes to the distribution of food. It's almost as though people who are meant to mourn with you need a lot of energy to mourn. Never seen that before. Yes, you have cocktails, maybe foods, but here in Nigeria, when it's a burial, particularly the burial of a very popular person, maybe a wealthy person, all bets are off. China joins us once again. China, why are we so big on this food at ceremonies?
That's who we are. Really, that's who we are. I think it comes from hundreds and hundreds of years of tradition. I think there was this adage in one of the Chinua Achebe's books that said, when a man invites the community to come and feast with him, he's not saying that you don't have food at home. He just wants you to just come in with him and just, we just do this. It's a way of saying, make we just chill, right? The Europeans may not do it that way, but that's us. That's why when we have when it's our birthday, we'll invite folks to come and have drinks and eat meat with us. Out there, when it's your birthday, you're wondering, why should I be paying for your drinks when it's my birthday?
Yeah, usually the reverse is the case. Your friends will probably gather.
Exactly.
And say, yeah.
So I think that's just who we are. Then again, when you have some affluence in your life, you want to outdo the previous person because it has become like a kind of status symbol, right? Do you know what I did? I know of a man in this part who, when he buried his mother a few years ago, he bought about 800 cows and shared to every family in the village.
What?
800, not 80, not 8, 800 cows. And he shared. That was his way, right? If you remember when the former president's mother-in-law was buried in Rivers State, the stories we heard then was that families were actually paid not to come out because there would have been a lot of high-profile guests coming for the burial. So food and meat was sent ahead of time to the village and said, look, have your burial celebration in your houses. Don't come out. We don't want to see you. Motorbike riders, tricycle riders called keke riders, we are paid what they would have made in that weekend if they are operating. As you don't bring your bikes out, don't bring your keke out. Stay at home and enjoy yourself. We want to have free flow of traffic. So people do these things. Then again, because of the economy, there are people who depend on these weekend celebrations for survival.
Okay.
I know people right from the early 90s who just locate wedding reception venues to just eat free food.
Yeah, wedding crashers.
Yes, it's free food. Free food. If you attend two on a Saturday, you can take some home. You're covered for the next day. So that's us. That's us. Now, if a person wants to wed and say, or have a funeral service and say, okay, after this, I'll just hand over, bottles of water. That's what the person wants to do. But because we are used to affluence and lots of food.
But has it always been like this? Because there's, I can understand the reference to the Chinua Achebe comment. Growing up in the village, yes, when maybe a new wife is brought in or whatever, the community comes around, and I don't think they were as elaborate as we've had and we've seen in the past, I would say, 3 decades in particular. Let's be honest. Recently, about 3 years ago, it trended, not in Nigeria, it trended on the African continent, that a certain young man was burying his mother in the East. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Obi Kubana's burial. A week before the burial was to hold, people were talking about the burial. A week before. A week after the burial, people were still talking about it, but so much so that Nigerians, you can't defeat Nigerians when it comes to making boasts. Somebody wrote on Twitter, we don't do our own. Oh yeah, England, over to you. I remember, how many of you remember that? Why are we so keen on this food, this fun fair Yes, the queen died. It was big, but that's the queen. The queen is the head of the state, right? But it seems as though we have this culture here of doing everything big. Hence, you hear that line: a befitting. I don't know what the heck a befitting burial is. We want to give
what's
a magnificent wedding. We want to have a royal. People who are not royals want to have royal-like weddings, and so with that comes food. And so when you don't give people food, they insult you.
And I think that's why Onia Folabi has told all of us from a month to his wedding. Simple: eat before you come. So what do I complain about if I don't have food to eat? I was told. Personal as a rule, I eat before I go for any occasion.
I agree.
That's my personal rule.
I agree.
I eat before I go for every occasion. But I mean, if I was having it twisted that I was going to have a 3-course meal and it didn't come, it's there on the card. Eat before you come. If I manage to get a bottle of water, it's there on the card. Eat before you come. If I manage to be about among the 150 who we are provided for, eat before you come. Yeah, because we have so spoiled ourselves in Nigeria or in Africa.
No, I think it's really a Nigerian thing.
Sure.
I've seen Ghanaians, I've seen Kenyans do the same, right? I've seen...
And it may not be all of Nigeria. Because some years back, I had friends from the north come to Port Harcourt for a colleague's father's burial. And one of them called me and said, in his own words, he said, "Now, so what do you do here?" I said, "How? What's all this?" I said, "Look, we call it a celebration of life." And he's like, "Where I come from, once a person dies, we bury him."
Quietly.
I said, "How old was this man?" This guy was over 80. I said, "No, we don't call it a burial. Here we call it a celebration of life." So they're celebrating the life he lived. But he had not seen anything like that before. So I think it's not even a Nigerian thing. It's parts of Nigeria, probably from the south. That's the southeast, the southwest, and the south. Probably because most of the north don't read. I've attended the burial in the north, right? Some years back, my father-in-law's burial. And the pastor kept on warning everybody. Me, I came with Port Harcourt style, right? I ordered drinks. I came with drinks. No, and the pastor was warning when he said, "Look, don't feed anybody. Don't just buy bags of pure water, sachet water,
and distribute
for the service of songs." He told them that. But I came with a Port Harcourt lifestyle. I came with packs of water, packs of drinks, everywhere. So after the service of songs, the man saw it and he was angry. He said he wasn't going to attend the burial the next day because the family defied him. The man said, "No, this guy that did, he doesn't know. He came from Port Harcourt." They had to beg him. Now, the next day, when we went from the state capital to the village, right? You know what this man did? The pastor said, "This family cannot lose their father and still fund your trip to their village." He stood in front of the bus that the family hired, and anybody entered the bus, he collected money from the person.
Interesting.
And handed to the family.
Interesting.
So as far as he was concerned, why do you lose a loved one
and still
have to spend? But that's their style up north, or probably in that village.
In that village, yeah, maybe.
Because when I went to the village, after the man was buried, we just sat in canopies. I'm like, what are people doing? That's how we mourn. We just sit down, quiet, no one is talking. I said, I know how high up your father was in government. If this was River State, we'll shut down the whole town.
The whole place.
There'll be different DJs, different angles. There'll be... I said, what's this? So it's not... I don't think it's a Nigerian thing. It's us in the south. It's us.
It's us. All right, do you guys agree? Let's get to hear from you. All right, as always, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear, please do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. And very importantly, please keep your comments civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk. On 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Well, I'm not sure I'm ready for this, but we're diving into the deep end. Unfortunately, I am not alone. China is with me. 92.3. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Brother Jude.
Good morning.
And our guest, in the studio.
Good morning.
The ever powerful God that made this human environment, made it to be a social environment, and made the human life to be a network life. Life is connected to another life. Another life is connected to another life. Men are connected to different men. Women are connected. And women are connected also to men. That was how the Almighty God structured the world. And so there is nothing that we can do to avoid it going on. When people have their programs or celebrations, you see, it is they are well-wishers, at times invited or not invited.
A lot of times not invited.
But because there is a social relationship, they will just come on their own. Now, to cheer the program, to show concern because they are connected or they like the interest of that very particular person celebrating. Many do not come because of food. By God's special grace, I'm 68 today.
Oh, congratulations.
I've never gone to any ceremony and I eat anything. But I go to show that the no man is an island. Yes. I go to show that a tree cannot make up a forest. To show that I love that person. So that is the word. But if the advocacy now, which the whole world will see, we see that people should keep away from the programs of other ceremonies. It's we tomorrow that will come to say, people are having programs and no one comes. Let's follow the natural conditions,
but it's
the natural standard that Almighty God has set.
But it's not just about coming; it's about feeding them. In your case, you just said you don't need to eat there, but you know there's some places people go, and if you don't eat, I'm sure you heard them. I go, sister Jane wedding. They don't give me food chop.
I think by this information now, people will keep away from that, and we still go to show that the human being now, I must prepare something to give to the people that will come. After all the millions that I have, God Jude, did I need this world? Will I carry them to the grave?
What if you don't have millions? What if you don't have millions?
No, I'm coming. I have just used this statement as a parable, as an idiom. But the little I have, if I use it and prepare for something for people, it's not a taboo. Because what I have in this place, the day that my spirit will leave my body and go to God, my spirit will not go with my money or my property.
Fair enough.
We are to socialize. In conclusion, thank you.
Fair enough. 92.3. Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Jude.
Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to the Oracle.
Good morning.
Oracle, but if I'm not pastor, I will ask you to pay fine. I will say, Oracle, if you're entering the car, if I'm taking 1,000 from mother, you pay 10,000 naira. Because you're coming from Port Harcourt. Well, it's all about understanding. But here now, the way our people do it here is like competition. And some of them live a fake life that after the ceremony, they are owing debt here and there. To me, do it the way you have it. It's not competition. Some of them are doing that befitting burial, people put their father or their mother casket in the museum. When they are alive, are they putting them in even Toyota Camrys? When they are alive. So some of us live fake life to impress all that we have. Yes, if you have money to buy 800 cow, no wahala.
800.
But when the person is alive, how do you take care of that person? Some of us will even keep the course for 3 years, but we are looking for money to do a befitting burial.
That's true. I've heard those stories.
Jude,
yes, please.
That money that you are using to keep that corpse in mortuary for 3 years. Can't you just do a little burial and just forge ahead? Use that money that you want to spend to help their siblings. Some of them want to oppress each other. In the same family, they want to oppress each other in that burial day. They will bring 5 DJs.
like China.
First song will disagree with second song. First daughter husband will bring Sonia Day from Lagos. This one will bring Aiba from Ibadan to come and play. You know, just live the way you will, at least according to your size. But I'm not saying that don't spend.
All
but
right.
do it in a way that, you know, at least you know that when my dad is alive, he's living in a glass house. Not when he's alive, he's living in a mud house. He's dead now. I want to put him in a glass house, and they are living doing a defeating things. You know, like in the West, in Lagos, for example. Lagos is a quarter of fake life in Ireland, and most of us live there, and we want to do that thing here. You can imagine of them can't come in December because of the kind of picture they post online.
Post there, yes.
When they come to December to show working a problem. So live the way you do and don't disturb others.
All right. Don't disturb others. 90.3. Hello, Potako. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning. Welcome, please. Can you turn off your radio set or step away from the radio? Can you do that for us, please?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Oh, all right. Good.
So, I'm Michael Dennis.
Welcome, Michael.
Yeah, I like the way the last person spoke. He really spoke my mind in a way. So, but the issue is that culture differs. When something happens here in an environment, everybody feels the same. If you feel pain, the way you react to that pain, either you cry or you express yourself in a different way. If you're angry, so that's why it is. If someone dies or this aspect of burial in the north, they don't celebrate, they mourn, but here we celebrate. Or in the course of that, I think there's need for moderacy because everybody does not have the same amount of money, as all fingers are not equal. We shouldn't be truncated to a particular system where everybody will be compelled to do the same thing. But you do according to your capacity. I can literally tell you that I had a consequence of a befitting burial.
Wow.
My car is damaged here because a man who was trying to give his mother a befitting burial lost control as a result of expenses. That is what he said. That what he spent so much has actually affected his emotion. He didn't know what he was driving again.
Wow.
He came and hit me as a result of trying to give a befitting burial, which he didn't. He didn't have such capacity that affected his emotion. So we shouldn't truncate ourselves into one system that cannot work for us. If you know you cannot do it, there is no point of carrying the whole community to come and eat food in your house. Nobody will query you if you didn't do that. That is it.
Well, some people have queried people for not doing that. I've heard people complain. When you buried your father, you did not do. You didn't do this. In fact, we didn't even see cow in your burial ceremony, even in the wedding. Why? What's up now? This from Anonymous says it is not compulsory to feed people, but depending on how far your guests have come to witness your event, the time of the day, and how long the event is, it may be cruel and unreasonable to do otherwise. Maybe if people stopped inviting their haters to their weddings to prove a point or to trend, they wouldn't feel so stressed by unnecessary bills. When we were planning our civil reception, my husband projected 500 plus people. I told him he and I together haven't met up to 500 people in our whole lives who have earned the right to be at our event or whose faces I want to see at our wedding album or video. Plus, I don't like feeding my enemies or smiling at them for appearance's sake. We had a small do and nobody died. Mr. Judo, does it mean that the RSVP on wedding cards before now simply means rice and stew very plenty? If yes, could it be because of economic realities that no one uses RSVP anymore? Instead, they use the context of discussion today. Please help a brother, Smart Odus from Mumebile. China, that's for you to answer. RSVP used to be S'il play.
Yeah.
Now we turned it to rice and stew very plenty. He says he's not seeing it again. Is this what's going on?
Maybe not, right? I remember when I was in primary school, we had no idea what when I was in secondary school rather. We had no idea what RSVP meant. There's somebody say it means rice and stew very plenty, and we ran with that.
Yes, we ran with it.
Rice and stew very plenty. Don't we see it anymore?
Funny enough, I don't think I've seen RSVP on certain invitations. When I see the very bougie cards, they put RSVP.
Yes.
But that your cousin's own now. I did not see you.
but I think that people should just do what they feel works best for them, right? Just do what you feel works best for you. The fact that Jude had 50 cows on his wedding day, don't mean I should get 50 or 51 cows. I can do with just one cow, right? I could do with no cow at all. So Onia Folabi just has done what he feels is best. Listen, I can take care of 150 people.
End
right?
of story.
Yes. And please just eat before you come. End of story.
Eat before you come, please. Good morning, Jude, and our legendary royal chopness. Yes, indeed. Just last Sunday, a wedding was held in my church, and after the wedding, the pastor announced that everybody should go home, that the reception will be in our various houses and on our own homemade foods. No reception venue was announced on the card too. Eat before coming is just to alert people what to expect when they come. But I feel it's better to make your wedding strictly by invitation so you can contain the crowd and cut expenses, not to finish your money in one day and face sakpa with your wife. Now, the first person who start this trend caused this problem. It's just a part of us that in this world to expect food, because most come to the occasion to eat, not necessarily to rejoice or mourn with you. They don't feel if you don't feed them, you might insult you with all the bitterness in them, saying don't separate bread from the brethren. Nice. Don't separate bread from the brethren. Nice. Every day I learn something on this program. All right, on Facebook, Obio Tamna says yes, so it is a must to make food available at reception. You can't bring people from far and near to attend your wedding and you tell them, go, thanks for coming, after spending the entire day at your wedding without giving them food. If you don't want to feed anyone, take your spouse to the pastor and be joined together.
That person said you can't bring people. I did not bring you. I did not bring you. I only told you I'm getting married. I didn't bring you.
You are. Anyway, China, thank you very much. What a wonderful conversation. We look forward to having you join us again. And for you, please, small.
Nigeriainfo. Right back after this.
Colors.